All right, there we go.
Sorry, everybody. The app crashed. Maybe it was my fault. I don't know. We're discovering the app. It's our first live room. And we have Jessica, and Adam will show up soon. Thank you, David, for coming back. So yeah, should we get started, folks? Or do we wait a little bit for the room? Oh, it's filling up quite rapidly. We have 26.
Let's get started.
Yes. So this is basically the launch party. I haven't had time to put the description back, but this is where we tell you a little bit about what our vision is for this show and why we're doing it. I don't know, Jessica, do you want to introduce everybody? I know this was Adam's tasks.
Yeah, why don't we introduce ourselves, since I can tell you a little bit about me. I'm an iOS developer, a photographer, and a Tesla enthusiast. I've been driving ICE cars until like 2.5 years ago, and the day I ordered my Model 3, it literally changed my life, because I didn't know what I was missing. It was such an awesome experience to, like, first of all, no longer having to like fill up my gas car at the gas station and smell all the fumes. It was like getting to meet like-minded people that I didn't know existed before. So, and I got really into it, and ever since then, like I've been very active on Twitter, and I'm just sharing the mission. And yeah, I'm super stoked about it.
Thanks, Jessica. Omar, you want to say a few words?
Yeah, my name's Omar Kazi. I'm also a software developer, and I have a Model 3 Performance too. I'm an FSD beta tester, so I've been testing the latest kind of like autopilot self-driving software, and yeah.
Thanks. Sawyer.
Thanks, Alex. Yeah, so my name is Sawyer Merritt. I am the co-founder of Twin Birch, which is a sustainable lifestyle clothing startup. Been a Tesla fan since 2015, been following the company closely ever since then. And I pretty much cover everything Tesla, everything breaking news regarding the company on Twitter, and that's where you'll find me most active.
Thanks. And we have Adam, who is missing right now. We're multi-time zone, so we have Jessica and Adam who are in Europe, which is around 7:30 in the morning right now. We have Omar on the West Coast, and me and Sawyer are on the East Coast. So it's maybe sometimes we might have trouble getting all together on the pod. For myself, I'm a physics engineer, a big Tesla, Spacex fan, everything technology related, engineering, manufacturing. And so this pod is basically like, which we call the X pod, is a group of like-minded friends that wish to have fun and create value for and with the community around topics we're all passionate about. And we feel like this can be achieved on this social podcasting platform because it allows everyone to interact, participate, collaborate in the value creation process and get recognition via episodes. And these episodes, the value can be extracted by others years down the road. And it's something we couldn't do on other platforms in such an easy way on a phone. So when we saw this app, me and Jessica got into the private beta, and we immediately clicked, yeah, we want to do this. And we built the team, and we hope to have fun doing it along the way with you guys. And so that's basically the general concept. We have ideas. Each of us has type of speciality that we like to do on that we used to do, let's say, for example, on Clubhouse, but now we will be doing it here. So maybe go around the room. Oh, Adam has joined us. Oh, Adam, please say hi and introduce.
Hello, guys. Good day, good morning, and good evening. I'm really excited. It's really fun to be here. I'm keen to get this started. I'm keen to see how this great platform can be. I'm curious on what kind of dynamics we can get and the social part of the interaction. I don't know. Have you guys been holding it for about 10, 15 minutes already? So you've studied this?
Yeah, so we started a few minutes late, and then apparently I crashed the app.
That as a yes.
So we restarted the room. That's why the title and description will be added later on.
Okay,
and,
cool.
Yeah, so we're just getting started, basically. So maybe introduce yourself a little bit. We already introduced ourselves, so tell us a little bit about who you are and why you're
Sure. My name is Adam. I'm based out of Oslo, Norway. I have a background in finance, but I'm interested in dogs, cars, EVs, tech, and politics. What I like to do, I like to essentially read up on all things related to Tesla. I have 2 kids, and I'm particularly interested in the financial markets. In a nutshell, I have a Model Y coming in from China right now, and I have a Cybertruck reservation. I've had a Model S, Model X, Model S again. That's about it. In terms of this podcast, my only ambition is actually to engage with awesome people in the community. I've been a big follower of the community for a few years, and I think through Clubhouse and just Twitter, hanging out with the hosts and we'll have on stage is something I really look forward to. So I'm really excited and grateful to be here. This shall be.
Thank you, Adam. We have a first caller, so let's hear from Pranesh.
Hi, thank you for hosting this launch party. Actually, I wanted to ask you, what do you like? Which company do you think gets to $1 trillion in market cap first? Do you think it'll be Tesla, SpaceX, Starlink, The Boring Company, or Neuralink? And why?
Oh boy, we're diving right in. Anybody want to?
Well, I think that's an easy one, because I mean we're already at 700 billion with Tesla, so I would be extremely surprised if it wasn't for Tesla to reach 1 trillion first. I mean, we were already up to 900 billion, so it's just like, yeah, a little bit more than 10% missing, and it's the only public company at the moment. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would agree, and especially with over the next 2 years, we're going to see a massive production capacity expansion with Tesla all over the world. So it certainly isn't hard to foresee Tesla becoming.
That's what I was thinking as well. But I was just wondering if you could entertain a scenario where Starlink actually becomes the most valuable company. Do you guys see that happening at all? Like, what do you think? Like, because they are going to crush ISPs. Do you see them like that capture? Do you think that could translate into $1 trillion?
Well, this isn't financial advice, but obviously the telco providers in general, the telco industry has been one of the industries with the highest margins over time. And essentially, in all corners of the world, telcos over time have been quite profitable. The problem when it comes to telcos is the capex, because you have to pay for the network and roll it out. And essentially, once the network is there, people aggressively bid themselves down and then eat up the margin. But over time, at least in Europe and the US, telcos have been profitable businesses and rather sizable businesses. I also agree. I think definitely Tesla will be the first one. And yeah, who knows? He has talked about making a candy factory at some point, so we might have some Tesla candy in day. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you, Pranesh. We're going to just keep on going with what we had a little bit planned for this launch party of the pod. So, like, we have ideas of what we want to. We already have episodes scheduled. If you look at what we have coming up, so we have in an hour, less than an hour, we have FSD beta that should start downloading, and we have Omar, and in the audience we have K10, who's also waiting for the download and will be joining us, and we'll be going through the download, first impressions. Elon mentioned that it was going to be like mind-blowing update, a mind-blowing version. So there's that, and then we have the European Electric Cannonball, which is basically like a race 6,000 kilometers, 9 countries in 3 days, from the tip of Portugal to the tip of Norway, the northern tip of Norway, and we're going to have them on live crossing the finish line. And they have, like, people have asked them questions, and many funny stories have happened during those 3 days. So it's 2 guys basically like taking turns driving, stopping not more than 15 minutes, and keep on going in a Model 3 long range. And then we have, of course, Inspiration 4, and we have other the launch of the first all civilian mission to space. And so we have lots of ideas for content. I don't know if do you guys want to go around each one, talk about what your specialties are and what you envisioned for content, and then we would like to take callers and take your suggestions, your questions, your comments about what you expect on the show. And we also want to cover with you maybe some of the functionalities, because I think a lot of people subscribe very recently to this app, and there's some very interesting functionalities that we want to share with you, as it's also the reasons why we chose this app. It's because of the social aspect of it that I think is very positive. So guys, let's go around the room real quick, maybe starting with Adam and moving back up. What kind of shows would you like to do on the XPod?
Well, thanks. I think, this is essentially a great tool for us to be able to connect with our community. That's the way I see it. I think instead of having a regular podcast, the notion of being able to bring people on stage and have some of our friends and community members participate in dialogue is one of the driving factors for why we've chosen this. In terms of shows, we will be having both shows where we sort of discuss the news. We'll have the shows where we interview some cool people. We'll have the shows where we have essentially us giving our thoughts on various things. We'll also have some shows where we go through some major market movements and events, and we'll have some shows where we really talk about cool new tech and whatever is happening in the world of X. So I think our sort of our range of type of shows could be quite dynamic and interesting. We are still fairly new at this as well, so I think it's also relevant for the audience and for the guys here in this episode with us in this space to essentially come up and have a dialogue with us onto how they would like us to use it. For me, it's essentially the social aspect and the fact that we can also edit and record it and share it with people afterwards that makes it cool. And I think we'll try out many different types of shows, and by virtue of having five very different people as hosts and from various parts of the world, I think we'll have a really cool range. Yeah, that's what I think.
Sawyer, you want to share a little bit what kind of shows?
Yeah, so I've been talking with a SpaceX launch engineer who works in Florida, who has agreed to do a podcast with us. I think we said, after the Inspiration 4 mission, and everyone is back safe and sound, we'll do it. So we'll get some cool insights from that individual. And I'm also just, me being a breaking news guy, I love to cover that stuff. So I think, if I tweet some Tesla breaking news, maybe I'll open up a room sort of spontaneously, and then we can all sort of just chat and discuss, whether it's breaking news throughout the day, or we just do a weekly, maybe end of Friday episode where we sort of cover the previous week's, sort of major Tesla news events. And, in general, this podcast, was created sort of for the community. So we want to hear from you guys too, like what kind of content you want to see, your suggestions, your, sort of criticisms, critiques, and stuff like that. Because really, this is for the community. It's not just for us. We obviously want to do things that we're interested in too, but we also want to do things that you guys are interested in. Some stuff that you'll enjoy listening to and that you'll find informative. So it's sort of for the whole community.
Yeah. So when people, if you want to click on the little telephone and you want to call in and come into the queue, we can take your calls. So don't hesitate. This is almost what we call popcorn style. So just, whenever you feel like commenting, have a questions or a suggestion, feel free to call in. Here we go. Let's take Ben. Hi, Ben. Ben left. We lost Ben. Oh, Ben is back. Ben, how are you? Can you hear us? You have to unmute. Oh, we lost them both. I don't know what happened. Okay, we're getting back. Okay, so like people are getting the hang of the app. Okay, so I think they're, instead of unmuting, they're just leaving. Okay, so he's back. Okay, Jacob, you're not trolling us, right?
No, sorry. It is confusing that you push the unmute, but it looks like, yeah, uncall, but it looks like unmute. Anyway, I just joined, so I don't know what the questions are supposed to be for, but I was curious to know what everyone thinks about, is there a future merger between Tesla and SpaceX ever going to happen?
What do you guys think? I don't think it.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think to some degree, Elon would love to sort of have everything under one roof and to keep certain things sort of together and more integrated and make decisions more, make decisions easier and more streamlined. But I definitely know that SpaceX investors want to stay separate. I know Elon doesn't want sort of, to take SpaceX public, at least anytime soon. And I don't think he wants to sort of bring down, at least from my perspective, bringing SpaceX sort of into Tesla brings, SpaceX's massive cash draws and the amount, it's going to take a lot of money, right, to go to Mars and all the Starship missions. And we know that Starlink will obviously provide a big cash flow for SpaceX, but it's going to be a while before I think, it's a lot for them. So I don't think it makes sense to sort of merge Tesla and SpaceX. I think it's better.
Cool. We have Amy. Welcome, Amy. How are you doing? You have to unmute.
I was trying. So congratulations, guys, on your launch. It's getting close to midnight, and is that when the goes to the beta?
Yeah, so the beta should be coming in about like 1 hour and the download could start early. So yes, as soon as Omar gives us the signal that let's say the download has started, we will transition to the other room, and we'll keep this room going as long as there's momentum. But yeah, you'll all be made aware of in the next room, and if you follow the club, the XPod, you'll get a notification that the FSD beta room has opened, and we'll all be there. So can't wait to see you guys there.
Okay, so what I'd like to hear from Jessica, what shows she wants to do.
Hi, Amy. Thank you. Yeah. So most of you know, or maybe not know, I don't know, that Adam and I, we've been doing several shows on Clubhouse, and we've interviewed like financial people like Ross Gerber, Gary Black, and so on. But the problem was always that not everybody is able to join a room when it's live. And with Clubhouse, it was like when you went offline, everything was lost, and that was always our biggest complaint. So now here with Colin, we have the really simple solution that we can bring the room back after we're done recording it, and everybody can listen to it whenever they want to. They can even listen to it in like 2x speed for those that don't have the time. And I think it's really, really important to store those conversations, because we had a room with Ross and Gary Black where we discussed like pro and cons of Tesla investing into Bitcoin, but everything is just lost. So the other big feature that I'm really looking forward with Colin and our rooms is the highlight feature. I love this. So maybe to give you a little explanation on what it is, like if you have like an episode running for 1 hour, many people probably don't want to listen to it for the full 60 minutes. But what everybody can do, not just the hosts or the speakers of the show, but everybody can create little snippets out of an episode, title it, give it a description, and share it with the world. So I think this is something so powerful that many people don't even realize. And yeah, so I'm stoked. I'm really looking forward to this.
So am I. Okay, so Alex, what do you
Thank
want
you.
to
Hold on,
content?
Omar, can you tell us a little bit what kind
Oh,
of shows? And I'd like to mention also there's a companion show that's more chill that's called the X After Hour. So I recommend you guys go follow it. We'll be doing after rooms, like where it's more chill. We bring more people onto the audience, from the audience onto the stage, and we do a little bit more clubhouse style. So be sure to follow that show because it's going to be a different type of format. Omar, you want to share a little bit?
Yeah, so I think during the pandemic, a lot of these kind of audio chat apps emerge. Like it kind of almost seems like everyone and their mom is doing one. You had, of course, Clubhouse and then Twitter Spaces, and I even tried one from Spotify called Green Room. So it seemed, I think Facebook did a clone too. They copy everything. So, it seems like everyone and their mom like kind of has one of these apps. And I think when we started like talking to each other for the first time, it's so interesting with the EV community. Like so many of us know each other. It's almost like a little funny to introduce ourselves when, all the people in the EV community who, maybe have a Tesla or another EV and support this stuff, they're all kind of like very interconnected. And, it's kind of like our own world compared to the public. So we really just wanted the show to be for, the Tesla and EV community and try and make it something different than any other kind of podcast that you see where it's really something that's kind of produced and handed down, right? We wanted to try and bring some of that social aspect of it where we can really bring up random people, start discussions with people who are super knowledgeable. We could bring up anyone from the audience who had something to say and get into a discussion with them and just put out, entertaining content for you guys that you'll enjoy listening to. That'll be informational and that you can even join into yourself, right? You can come into here in this app and you can say, hey, I want to call in with a question and share your comments, share your thoughts. And in that way, like really all of us producing content kind of as a community together for all of us to enjoy, kill time, whatever. So, we're trying this out. It's a little bit of like rough edges. I can see kind of like there's so many people in the room that like, the thing won't even really scroll smoothly. So this is like literally this app launched last week, but I'm really excited to try it out with all you guys and see what we can do and what kind of episodes we can make and put out to the.
Yeah, thanks, Omar. Yeah, I just want to touch a little bit on like the functionalities we were talking about. And I see David and Axel are in the audience. So if I mess this up, don't hesitate to call in and correct me. But yeah, so the first thing is when we create an episode, if you're on stage with it doesn't matter whether you're a host or not of the show. And this is like the inclusive part. So if we bring somebody on stage as a speaker, they get credit for the episode. So this episode, once we publish it, it goes to your profile bio as like you're a creator of that episode. So this is it's not just about us, it's about like the whole community. Once we start, like, of course this is the launch party, so it's mostly like the host on stage, but other rooms we'll bring experts and we'll bring people from the community on stage, and you get credit for that episode. Second thing is what Jessica mentioned, and yes, another feature, like the episodes, you can comment on them. And I just want to make it clear, we'll be going and reading all the comments. So if you have suggestions or you feel like we should do a room or you want to be interviewed or you have something to share, like the European Electric Cannonball, they reached out to us to be interviewed. So feel free to message us through the app by leaving a comment or also through Twitter. Our handle is officialxpod on Twitter, and our DMs are open. Just send us your ideas, your comments, your suggestions. Like, we welcome them. Second thing is the highlights. Yes, the highlights are wonderful, but this is another way for somebody who is not a host, who is not on stage, to actually become a little bit of a creator. You're editing the full episode into a clip that's between, like, I think 1 second and 10 minutes long, and you get to put the title you want on it, and you get the credit for that title. So you don't have to be on stage speaking to have like the social experience of like somewhat participating in the podcast. So this whole aspect, this community aspect, the social functionalities, and I've heard that they're working on some great stuff. All hush hush for now, but yeah, so we're really enthusiastic about where this is going, and yeah, can't wait to do more content and have you guys share it with us and participate in this community. I think Twitter is a good foundation, and I think this is like a step above Clubhouse, because we leave something behind that people can like watch a year from now, 2 years from now, and you were there, you got credit for it, and you know, then you can maybe start your own show and stuff like that. So yeah, again, if you guys have suggestions right now, you want to talk about what you would like to see on the XPod, feel free to call in. More general question: will SpaceX merge? This is maybe left better for other rooms, but if you guys have, oh, we have Amy back. Hello, Amy.
Yeah, I just wanted to. I didn't notice if you had said what you were going to put out.
Oh, it's true. Sorry. No, I think I totally forgot. Yeah, so me, mostly I'm interested in engineering. So anything that's engineering, technology, manufacturing, AI, I like to do deep dives on that. Everything that's battery technology. So I will, of course, if there's news, let's say there's breaking news about battery, I'm going to want to participate. I'm going to want to interview people in the engineering field, get their takes on what Tesla is doing, or SpaceX, Neuralink. It's all about engineering, and Elon's an engineer, so he has that mindset. So yeah, I want to touch on everything that is that. That's my main interest. Of course, I'm very interested in the financial aspects of it and all that stuff. But yeah, that's my yeah.
So you can break down the physics of it for
yes,
the rest of us?
if questions come up, yeah, I'm totally happy to do that. But that's mainly like my wheelhouse. Thanks. Okay, we're going to take Bradford. Hello, Bradford. How are you doing?
Yo, so it'd be cool if there could be recorded call-ins or recorded questions, like, so then you could pick from, you know, a dozen different call-ins and kind of do a popcorn style that way too.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It's almost like the Ryan show, isn't it? He does that, doesn't he? Yeah.
People could maybe even like upvote or downvote questions that they.
Yeah.
That's great functionality.
I like that idea. Yeah, that's cool. Like where people could listen to the questions and up, down, vote them. That would be.
Yeah, great
I think
idea.
we need to
It could
start
be a weekly
another
segment.
app
We'll do the
that
top
adds
3,
this
etc.
feature.
Okay, so guys, I think we covered most of what we wanted to talk about. I don't know if you guys feel like you wanna expand a little bit more. We've been going for like.
Okay, I was thinking, have we discussed about all the future episodes that we put in there? Both the obviously the beta coming up very soon, the Cannonball and the SpaceX. I'm going to add another one. I haven't put it in yet. It's the trip to Giga Berlin. So in less than 3 weeks, I'm headed to Germany to check out Giga and meet up with a lot of cool, awesome people from the community. I'll also be hosting a little live pod from Berlin at the site. So yeah, stay tuned for that.
That'll be cool.
Yes, and we have, like Sawyer mentioned, we have one engineer from Florida that works in the horizontal integration bay. So basically was involved in Inspiration 4. We have somebody else that's in Hawthorne. We need to get over some hurdles from getting permission from SpaceX for them to be like recorded on a podcast and answer our questions. So we have a few things lined up, and I think it's gonna be exciting times. Of course, tonight is in about an hour. It's the FSD beta download and first impressions, but we will have a room a few days later to do a deep dive on people's the FSD beta testers, their take on this new version and the good, the bad, the ugly. And so you won't want to miss that. So subscribe to the channel. This is the best way to and promote the app. Like, do highlights. This is the best way. You do a highlight, you tweet it out. People who want to listen to it, they'll be and if they don't have the app, they'll go and download it. So let's get this thing growing. This is I think there's lots of potential here. I see we have lots of callers, so I'll just shut up and start taking them. Okay, am I pronouncing this correctly? You're on. Unmute your mic. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Rajendra, am I pronouncing that correctly? How are you? Unmute your mic. I think people have big thumbs. Okay, next one. We're back with Olsay. There you go.
Hey, this is OJ from the show No Rules Berlin. I just wanted to put a quick comment on what Adam said. Adam, if you're in 3 weeks in Berlin, let's catch up. If you need office space or something, I'm happy to support you. Or if you want to do like a collaboration on that date.
Dude, that's awesome. I'd love to do that. We are meeting up with some really cool people. I've set up 6-7 meetings at this stage. And we are meeting up like a wide arrangement of people coming from various parts of the world, actually. I would be awesome. Just send me a DM and we'll take it from there. I'll be there from Thursday to throughout all Sunday. So arriving Thursday noon, heading off Sunday midnight. So it's going to spend some time there.
All right, cool. We'll DM. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Cheers, man. Look forward to it. Thank you.
Cheers. Next caller is... Oh, he put a flag. So is Joshi. I don't see the rest of it. Joshi's blonde. Hello.
Hey, guys. Yeah, it's great to see you all. Thanks for putting this together. I was just wondering if, how excited people are, if anyone's heading down to the shareholders. I remember last year I was there and we got a big group of the kind of, the back row crew, just maybe 30 or 40 of us, like having drinks and luckily able to kind of pour our hearts out about Tesla, and it was great fun. So really glad that the community's come together in apps like this. But you guys looking forward to the event? Do you see any surprises? Do you think they might unveil the 25K car or anything?
Well, they're not going to unveil a car at the shareholder meeting, but people will definitely be.
Yeah, I'm hoping to make it out there if I can. I'm hoping Tesla gives us sort of some guidance on any potential capacity limits due to COVID. But if they'll give us that, then I'll hopefully be able to make it out there.
Nice. Yeah, it seems pretty open at the moment. I think previous years have just been completely open. And the fact that they haven't set any capacity limits makes me think that they'll just open it to everyone this year. So, yeah,
Thank you. We'll move to the next caller. Rajan, what are you doing tonight? What's on your mind? Okay, he's going to try to unmute and he's going to leave the queue. That's my guess. Rajendra, you need to unmute. Okay, so we're gonna keep on going. So we were talking about the episodes we have. Oh, Amy's back. Oh, sorry, Rajendra, please call in again.
I just had a question for Rajesh. I'm sorry if I'm ruining your name. Were you in the plaid suit last year?
Okay, so if he calls back in to answer the question. Yeah, okay, so remove from queue. Then we Rajendra, sorry to haven't cut you off earlier.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me?
Very good. Yes, we can.
Yeah. So great initiative, guys, and congrats on the launch party. Actually, this is my first sort of conversation app because I tried Clubhouse last week, and the signal to noise ratio was too much. So I just tried, and I could not get much further. So this seems like a much more concentrated community. So I'm excited about. um excited to discuss stuff about SpaceX, Neuralink, and I find it interesting how all these things are connected. Like SpaceX is using the batteries and solar power, and Tesla is also using. So sort of all these things are interlinked and connected, and also excited about the Inspiration 4. So looking forward to discussions on all of this.
Yes, and
Yeah.
we're excited to have you on board, and we're excited to like share this with everybody. So
Yeah.
yeah, of course, there's a lot of cross pollination between all these companies, and when we were thinking about how to call this pod, X seemed appropriate for many reasons.
Yeah.
And so yeah, anything goes, anything Elon goes in this podcast.
Yeah, and I also love how all of this fits into the big plan of Elon that you have to make the human life multiplanetary. So it's like Inspiration 4 is the first step.
Yes.
Yeah. So
you got to get civilians up there. That's critical. Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah. So I like how it all fits into the big plan. So looking forward to the interesting discussions, guys.
Thanks a lot, Rajendra. And so, were you wearing the plaid? You're up, Joshi's blonde. Oh, we lost them. We have Landon now. Landon, how are you doing tonight?
Hey, good to see everybody. I'm great. Really excited for, whatever kind of release information we get later. But I wanted to ask the panel about audio and Tesla. One of the reasons I'm thinking about it is Ross Gerber tweeted today, Sirius XM coming to the Tesla platform. I found that pretty confusing. Couldn't find anybody else talking about that. And then wanted to tie that in with some of the plaid audio upgrades and whether that might come to other models. And then Apple Music. We haven't heard about Apple Music on the Tesla platform. So thanks for hosting. Thanks for having us. And those are my audio questions for the.
Okay. Have any of you heard about Sirius XM coming to?
No, I haven't.
I mean, I think it's on the Model S and X. They have Sirius XM.
Okay, I saw a tweet about
the software there for the new cars because they hadn't finished implementing it yet, and then now they.
Yeah, does that answer your question, Landon? I don't think we're aware of this. I think this is very early news. I don't know where Ross got his info.
Well, it just seems
you have more to tell us?
It just seems surprising to me that it's kind of a, it's not the freshest platform or technology, like where they have to have a separate satellite model, radio in the car. I'm not sure who would be excited about paying for another subscription, but if you have a long history with Sirius, maybe you want that. I was more interested in getting Apple, as a main selection on the Tesla platform to get the new spatial audio and that kind of thing, but it seems to have fallen away. Some people on Twitter lately are, saying, "Oh, this is Tesla retribution for Apple snubbing Tesla." And I really don't buy that it's that serious or they're really that childish about it. But any other audio?
I can speak a little bit to the Apple Music and Teslas. So I read from Mark Gurman, who covers Apple news for Bloomberg. He heard from last December that some engineers inside Tesla were aiming to get Apple Music support up and running in Teslas, and in December, references of support for Apple Music briefly appeared in Tesla's in-car software. But the lack of Apple Music and CarPlay support in Teslas, this really comes down to a decision from Tesla rather than Apple. At least that's what Mark said. Apple has been trying to get its services and on any device, as many know, but Tesla, at least what he said, doesn't want to give up control of its interface. But he also remarked that he didn't think having CarPlay in, say, like a small window would hurt Tesla's the experience. But it could just be like Tesla wanting to sort of clamp down on their own ecosystem and not wanting to let Apple in, because it's, as we all know, Apple has almost full control of their own ecosystem. So Tesla may be trying to do a similar thing where they're trying to create their own ecosystem and not have tons of third-party players sort of steal their thunder, so to speak.
Thanks, Sawyer. Landon, you have a follow-up?
Thanks very much. No, just any other final thoughts on this new expansion of the subwoofer control in the Model S refresh? I would think that'd be pretty easy to do on any of the premium Teslas. But any thoughts there? And I'll yield the rest of my time.
Thanks, Landon. Fun to see you.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the kind of dialogue we want, right? We're bringing up something that some of us may have heard something about. We're trying to decipher it together, having a discussion about it. I think Landon's call was a great example of things I look forward to.
Yes, and we're going back to Joshy's Blonde. Third try. Third time's the charm. Joshy's Blonde. Unmute. You have the floor. Going once. Going twice. Okay, so come back later. We're going to move to Martin. Martin. Hello. We lost Martin. We have a different Martin. Hello, Martin. Unmute. Nope, we lost Martin. All right.
Yeah,
so yeah,
definitely seems to be
okay. Yeah, so Martin for the second try. Martin, unmute. Nope, we lost Martin again. All right, folks. We've been going for 42 minutes, and we're getting really close to the FSD beta that might open. I don't know if Jessica, do you want to open the room right now so people can transition into the other one?
We can certainly do that. Omar, do you have any updates? Have you seen anything yet? Nothing yet. We can do this, or we can wait until we see some movement. I mean, at the end of the day, we don't know. Does it take like 10 minutes, an hour, 2 hours until they release it? You know what?
How do you want to play this, Omar? You want to start nerding out on FSD while we wait for the download, or do we tell people to come back in 20 minutes?
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever's fine. I think people are probably kind of bored. We should talk about something. It seems like we're just kind of, struggling with the app a little bit. I don't know. We should try and move into something entertaining, or, talk about something. It seems like bringing callers on is a little bit of a struggle.
Yeah, I think people are still discovering, and they're hitting the hang up button instead of the unmute. So we have another caller here. Hello. Can you unmute?
Yeah, it is. I think maybe that's a UI thing.
Elizabeth, can you unmute?
Yeah, clearly people can't figure.
Yeah. I mean, credit to Lyndon and Amy and the third friend that was on stage. But I remember when we tried this out, was it last week or the week before, whatever. I also felt that was a little bit counterintuitive. So just when you get up and into the list and Alex says your name, you're ready to go. Just make sure you don't leave the queue instead of unmuting.
Yeah, so people are queuing up. Bradford, unmute. There you go.
Yeah, so if we want to spice it up, we could talk politics and the new proposal, 7,500 for EVs, and then 4,500 if it's union made. I don't know what else there is to it, but I'm curious people's thoughts, and maybe Sawyer, you could recap it.
Yeah, so I can sort of read off my tweet. It was that the Democrats tonight unveiled a new EV tax credit proposal with sort of a boost for unions. So for 5 years, the legislation would implement a $7,500 point of sale consumer rebates for EVs and pay out an additional $4,500 for vehicles assembled in a union facility. And then another $500 would be awarded for vehicles using a battery manufactured in the U.S. So essentially, Tesla wouldn't get that 4,500 because they don't have any unions, but they would get the 7,500 just because they sell EVs, and then because their batteries are made in the U.S., they would get that 500 for a total of $8,000 for eligible EVs under their brand, which would be sedans under 55K, SUVs under 69K, and then pickup trucks under 74K would all be eligible for the credits.
Yeah, so here's Noah. Noah, can you unmute? No, Noah hung up. Amy's back.
I just had a question on the EV credit. So, because maybe Landon knows, I had saw somewhere that Colorado was having another raise in the EV credit. Maybe Landon can answer that, because unless you know, so.
No, I'm not sure, but obviously you can, sort of combine the local EV credits with the federal EV credits. So, if let's say you get 8,000 federally, you can get, whether it be like 2,000 or whatever, it's for a total of like 10,000.
Hey, Amy, sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to ask you to maybe explain our audience what you exactly were doing to unmute yourself, because you seem to be able to do it every single time while others can't. Is it like the middle button, or which one are you pressing?
Okay, there's the little emoji on the right. To the left of it is the mic. And if you have a line through it, you can't talk because it's muted. So if you just touch it. But do you put me back in the audience, Alex, or do I have to do that? Because
yeah, so we can do it like a caller can put himself back into the audience by hanging up the phone, or I can put people like to take the next one in the queue.
Okay, I'm gonna try this.
All right. There you go. So now I can bring Landon, and we'll land it. Yeah, Landon's got it now.
No, yeah, not real tricky here. I can't see how it's any kind of stumbling block. But anyhow, best of luck to the other people trying to unmute. And Amy, as far as I know, is still an additional $4,000 tax credit, which is just mailed to you, not a deduction. But that'd be nice if that stays the same. Or Colorado's a really good state for supporting EVs, so everybody welcome to Colorado.
I mean, my jaw is kind of on the floor when I read that. Like, you hear about this first proposal, which was basically 7,500, which was the existing EV tax credit, plus 2,500 for American made, and then 2,500 for union made. And that was already like, what? That's ridiculous. How can they say the government is going to subsidize union made cars for $2,500? And I was like, is that even constitutional? And, the United Auto Workers Union, like, these guys, the leaders, they're all like in prison. Like, seriously, it's almost comedic how many of these guys keep getting arrested for stealing money from the workers, right? So they're taking money out of the workers' paychecks, and then they're stealing it, right? They're buying a bunch of backpacks with the UAW logo, and they made a backroom deal with the backpack manufacturer. They get a kickback of, $1 million or something. So to write into law that, we're going to subsidize these union-made EVs over non-union-made EVs, and to increase that to 4,500 and decrease the American-made provision to just 500, it's just insane. Like, we have a serious situation here with air pollution, with the need to transition to reducing emissions. And they're more concerned with giving a kickback to the people who got them elected than actually trying to make a law that makes sense. And these unions are just opposing electric vehicles more than anything. Like, they're fighting very hard behind the scenes to stop the electric vehicle transition from happening, because they know that an electric vehicle requires less labor to make than a polluting car. And they're basically trying to do whatever they could to slow it down. Probably the reason they had to increase it to 4,500 is the unions were very strongly against this EV tax credit behind the scenes. And the only way they could get them to support it was to give them an insane cash handout of $4,500.
It's just to keep legacy auto competitive. Let's get down to it. Without this, if they had to compete with the same EV credit, all automakers like Tesla would crush them. So the only way they can sell a car that's less good, and keep like decent margins, is by subsidizing 4,500, right, Omar? Like, this is
Right, exactly. And I mean, it's just kind of insane. I mean, it's like, imagine if the iPhone had come out and the government said, we're going to start subsidizing, Blackberries for everybody, or like Motorola Razors or something like that. It's just kind of insane.
Yeah, I think unions are a complicated question. Um, there is something to be said about unions as well, in terms of securing labor rights that could be positive for society. But I'm actually curious, because I think Matthew Taylor? We had a few rooms discussing this, and I'm not sure this is okay from a world trade perspective. Like, US, we've never had a situation where a government has said, we're giving state funding to a product that's produced through a political organization that's related to it. Like, this is the kind of policy that America ensures the crazy dictators doesn't do around the world. Don't put money in political friends of yours when it comes to trading and competing in the market space. So I'm really baffled by it. Even though I'm not as opposed unions as others may be, I'm really surprised that you would be able to put into legislation this. Now, one thing is what people say and what politics say is one thing. Another thing is what they end up doing. I would be surprised to see if this ends up being the thing from a historical perspective. I'm not even sure that it would be okay from a world trade perspective. The World Trade Organization might have something to say about this. So yeah, I'm curious as to how this is going to end.
Yeah, I think it's in general, it's just important to note for everyone that this isn't like, finalized. This bill hasn't been passed yet. Nothing's finalized. So this is really just another proposal. We've seen many at this point. This is just another one from the Ways and Means Committee from the House. So, we'll have to see how everything unfolds. But yeah, I disagree with that. The union thing, I think, is BS too.
Yeah, I think one thing is what they say, and they will want to say this at this stage, but I doubt the administration will break one of the principles of sort of Western world trade policies. I think that's. I hope we don't see that. It doesn't seem right, and it could set precedents for other industries and other countries, and then we're being more protected than globally oriented, and we're hindering free competition. So I'm for government subsidies in terms of helping promote EVs and the transition to sustainable energy, but promoting one party or one organization over the other sounds a bit odd.
Yes, so we have another caller that's been in the queue for a while. Jenny, you're up. Jenny, can you unmute? No. Okay, Jenny, there you go. You're live, you can talk. Jenny, going once, going twice. Okay, remove from queue. All right, so we've been going at it for 55 minutes, close to an hour. I think FSD would be starting soon, so we'll be opening the next room. Jessica, do you want to go open the other room? And we'll invite people to transition who want to continue the conversation while we wait for the download to start, and maybe direct the conversation towards FSD, what we're expecting, what Elon has announced, and are you guys good with that? Jessica, Omar? Okay, so Jessica, oh, there you go.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, we can certainly do that. Or as I said before, like, what if we wait until Omar gets the download? Because we don't know, it could take 1 or 2 hours, right? But I can certainly start the room
there's
now.
Well, it's supposed to
it's
start before midnight, but
Yeah, usually the
Okay.
actual download like links come, by around 3 a.m. If not, like, usually the last 2 times I think they've come like 15, 20 minutes before you.
Yeah. So we had Elizabeth for the third or fourth try. Can you unmute? You're the caller, Elizabeth.
It's brutal to watch people go through this.
Yes, exactly. Oh, and we lost Elizabeth.
Yeah, just quickly, while she figures it out, maybe just a quick word. You already mentioned it, Alex, that there will be another room regarding the Cannonball, but I don't think you mentioned when, because this is actually happening in less than, is it 8 hours? So it will be at 5 p.m. European time on Saturday, which is...
Yeah, it's 11 Eastern time.
11 a.m. Eastern time, yes. Maybe Adam can speak to that a little bit more.
Yeah, it's in exactly 6.5 hours from now. T-minus 6.5 hours. So Guillaume and Tesla Owl have essentially attempted to do this Cannonball race in Europe, where they're going from one end to the other. They're doing it in the Model 3, and they're trying to go as fast as possible. So they're not sleeping. They're only charging 15, 20 minutes at a time, and then non-stop. One guy is sleeping, and the other is driving, and they're going essentially non-stop. They're not stopping, crossing Europe diagonally from Cape to Cape. So St. Vincent at the Cape, it's a beautiful little church chapel thing looking at the Atlantic from the very, very southern tip of Portugal, driving diagonally as far a distance as you can within Europe to the very top of the North Cape in Norway. They've passed through Sweden now. They just exited Denmark, and they're rushing up via Sweden and up to Norway and the Norwegian-Finnish Russian border, essentially. It's a really cool thing for creating awareness. We have some fun episodes with the police involved, where we'll get into it. But there's been some really cool stuff happening, and a lot of people have been asking them questions. But one of them is driving, and the other is sleeping. So we thought we'd bring them on, and then the audience can ask them some questions about it. They made a pretty good concept. There's a web page involved. They have flyers and stickers, and it's been a great ride. I've been tracking them. These guys are French, so they actually started in France and had to drive all the way down to Portugal to start the run. So it's been quite the effort. 6,000 kilometers, passing through 9 countries in less than 72 hours. I spoke with the guys yesterday on the phone, and they're trying to get it done, obviously, in 69 hours. So let's see how they do. They're literally racing up to the North Cape as we speak, and the media there will be expecting them. So they'll be here with us live as they attempt to get it in within the 72-hour record and set the new European EV record for cross-continental European travel. I actually think they might set a record that's going to be hard to break, the long-range Model 3. And then we'll also tell you stories about when the police caught them driving at 150 miles an hour. So I think they're setting a tough record to beat. They're really going at it, and it'll be cool to catch up with them and hear the thoughts about how it's gone, what they wanted to achieve, and the notions for why we can do this. And could this be sort of a big run coming up? It seems like a lot of the various clubs around Europe have engaged in this to a certain extent as well. So hopefully this could be a thing where it's an annual thing, much after the US Cannonball model. And we can get a few hundred cars or a few thousand cars to do this run every year. That would be awesome. So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to speaking with the guy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Adam. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this too. I'm sure that's going to be a lot of fun. Alex, so I'm going to leave now and start the other room. And
Okay.
you are going to work on getting this published so people can listen to it later on, right?
Yes, exactly. So as soon as it's finished, I'm going to do a little bit of audio editing and just publish the episode and join you guys in the other room. We have a last caller. Let's see if Giovanni can operate the controls. Giovanni, you're on. Can you unmute?
Hello.
Yeah, Giovanni. Yes.
Okay. Hi. I was just wondering, like recently ARK Invest has been repeatedly saying that they could think Tesla's going to reach 3,000 base price. I was wondering in the future, like that's a 2025 target price. I was wondering what each of y'all's base case, bear and bull case would be for the stock price in 2025, even though we already know how close FSD is for fully automation. And also in the future, Elon has also referenced the VTOL battery powered jet. So taking that into consideration and all the online factories in India coming online, what the actual stock price do you think would be? I feel like 3,000 is way too low. Thank you for your.
Thanks, Giovanni. I think the VTOL, yeah, he's mentioned it, but I don't see that in the cards. Already, like the Tesla bot was a big surprise that they're going down that road, starting to build an aircraft with the batteries that they need to keep production up of the cars and the energy stationary storage. I don't see that being in the cards like in the near future. I don't think we'll be hearing about a Tesla jet before like 2025. So yeah, I don't know if others want to chime in. Sawyer, Omar, Jessica.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry. No, you do it.
Yeah, I'm certainly not a financial analyst by any means. So, and we have great financial analysts in our Tesla community, but I always felt like Tesla could, easily be a $5 to $10 trillion company with just continued great execution. Their pace of innovation is just so high, and I just don't see any competitors catching up anytime soon. So even without any sort of eVTOL, I just don't see any competitors catching up. So I think, yeah, I would say 3K, like past 2025 or past that, is too low. Yeah, but that's Kathy Wood. They just continue to sort of update their models, and their price targets continue to rise. So I don't expect their sort of base case to be 3,000 years down the road from now. I expect it to rise.
I think the thing about ARK and the model that we need to be aware of is essentially they're using a model which we typically don't use for evaluating companies to put a price target on Tesla. So typically when you're evaluating companies and you're either using multiples, essentially looking at how does this compare from a ratio perspective, and then it's a whole discussion on which ratios and what makes most sense. This is sort of the traditional way that corporate finance people view companies. If you look at M&A activities, etc., then you'll try to make a discounted cash flow model where you're assessing what is the value of the future income of the various income streams and the net effect of that, and you're looking at what's the time value and how do you discount that, what kind of discount rates and capital asset model prices and base values, and then it becomes a question of which income streams you put in and what is the relevant market beta for the risk aspect of that market beta to adjust the discounting factor back. And then there's what ARK has done, which is quite traditionally something we don't do, and that is to do a Monte Carlo version of it. And a Monte Carlo model is essentially a scenario outcome model as much as it is a pricing model. We typically use that for options to say, will we be in and out of the money? So, for all that ARK has done, and I'm a big fan of ARK, it's essentially a model it's a tool that's typically used to assess options, rather than to set a price target. So it's a bit unusual, and that makes it interesting. But there's many ways of doing it. They're doing it in a way that's typically not done, but has proven to be in many ways good because the development in tech stocks have been very different to the traditional ways of evaluating companies. And I would say Tesla, to a large extent, is that more than an automobile company in maybe 2025. So yeah, I think what is relevant. I have mine a little bit higher, but this is not financial advice. And yeah, if you're interested in ARC, I mean, they share pretty much a lot, both in their documentations and their papers and their models. So there's a lot there to dig into if you're interested. And it is fascinating. It is good stuff. Although unusual, it's still interesting and very relevant, obviously.
Thank you, Adam. So we're going to be shutting down this room. Jessica, will you be opening up the other room? You're heading over. So thank you, everybody, for joining us for this launch party. It was a bit rough getting started. We're all getting used to the app. I think it'll get smoother the more we use it. People will figure out how to call in and how to ask their questions, go back to the audience, and future rooms will have more people on stage, so the conversation will be more flowing. And yeah, I hope you join us again and stick around with us. We're learning as you are. And yeah, it was very fun having you here. Thank you, David, for joining us. Axel as well. Keep up the good work. We're expecting great things from you. And yeah, so
thanks for the awesome callers that came up and called us in.
Yes, and the audience, we're at 144 people live in the stream. So thanks a lot for the support. It's much appreciated. And yeah, so meet you back into the other room about FSD beta. And yeah, we're also hoping that it's going to be a good room and a good version. And good night, everybody. Catch you later. Thank you.
Bye.